Hi there, this is Matt. Um, I just watched your recent video, Bionic Dance. I watched it twice actually. The second time I made notes. It's the video called it's called What is Atheism? Now, I'm not going to pwn you or your video, but I do intend to critique it. Okay, so let's begin. I'm not going to cover everything, but I will cover most things I thought important. Alright, so the first thing that didn't quite gel with me was that you had on the screen it's some voice and you had kind of like this text. At the top it said atheism is not, and then underneath it said things like a flat out denial, willful ignorance and stuff. Okay, well, no, it isn't necessarily those things, but most of them it could be. And in fact, I often find it is. It is often a flat out denial. It is often a faith position. And, this is just in my experience. I'm not going to go too into it in this video. But, yeah, that's not a defining feature of atheism, but many atheists are like that. No, atheism is not willful ignorance. That's something that we should get out right now. I definitely support you in that one. It is not willful ignorance. In fact, people who are willfully ignorant, and people who are ignorant in general about religion or about spirituality, they're a totally different thing. They don't belong with atheists or theists. They're not there. They're something else. Okay, so something else. The next thing that I have to criticize about this is, although atheism may not require a strong belief, more often than not, it's more than just unbelief. It's disbelief. And that's far stronger than simply unbelief or not believing or not being convinced. Atheism doesn't say, it doesn't need to say, to quote you properly, that there is no God and we can prove it. But atheists often say that. They do. Maybe not you particularly, but they do. They do say that. They've said it to me. I have said it to people because I went through a brief period of atheism. That sort of ties in with the burden shifting thing. And I'll get into burden shifting in a minute or two. But anyway, this unbelief versus disbelief, this not needing to say that we can prove that God does not exist. That's the difference between Gnostic atheism and agnostic atheism. And so you can't just say that all atheists are agnostic atheists. Some of them are Gnostic atheists, and some of them are particularly bad because they have faith, which is sort of the opposite of what they want. I don't necessarily say that that it is wrong to be an atheist, but it is wrong to be an atheist and have faith and a closed mind. You raised a straw manning point. Good point about that. Christians do that. In fact, most people do it, but hey. I don't need to go into it. You guys have seen the video. Bionic Dance, you made the video. I don't need to talk about that, but yeah, good point. Alright, so then you talk about a baby or a person who's been raised in a science lab. Basically, you're saying that we're all born atheists. Okay, maybe we are, but there's really no evidence for or against this. No one has, not to my knowledge, no one has ever done this test. No one has ever raised a kid in a science lab because they'd probably go to jail. An ethics board would catch on to that super quick and say, no way can you do that, Mr. Scientist. Basically, if you're an atheist, you're gonna believe that we're all born atheists. You'd have to be a pretty weird atheist not to. It's not impossible, but yeah. If you're a Christian, or if you're a theist, you're gonna believe that we are all born theists. Because you believe that you're right, you believe that that is the natural way that things are going to be. Problem, we can't ask infant children, whether they have some kind of spiritual connection. We can't ask them whether they were born an atheist because, firstly, they can't speak, obviously. Secondly, they may not even have the cognitive ability to comprehend what we're saying or even understand such a feeling that they may have, that they might have a kind of connection, but they wouldn't understand it. They sort of wouldn't have been able to codify it at that age. Anyway, that's sort of irrelevant because they can't speak anyway. The point is, we don't know. It's another mystery, and the answer to that mystery is going to depend on whether you believe in God or not. Okay, then you go on, and you got this nice image of it's a Cartesian plane, and over one side you've got theism, other side you've got atheism, then you have Gnosticism and agnosticism. Very good image. A lot of people won't understand it, and they bloody well should. So, if you're so inclined, it might be nice to have an explanation of that, just for the people who don't quite get it. But then, in the voiceover during that section, you talk about, or you say, well, this is why atheism can't be a religion. It's impossible. It doesn't go with the definition. Well, no. I think that it is. And I have a video forthcoming about this topic. In fact, probably 2 videos. I can certainly group atheists together into one sort of unified school of thought. I can certainly create a decent argument for the fact that atheism is a religion. You say that you can't unify atheists like you can with theists, but honestly, theists are as individual in their beliefs, if not more individual, than atheists are. Just look at Christianity, okay? Something that we're all familiar with. Think about the dozens of denominations in Christianity, and think about the fact that each cardinal and bishop and each priest probably has a slightly different theology, and a lot of them will have different worldviews. And then you take into account the fact that there are thousands of non-denominational Christians, and each one of them will have a different worldview and a different theology, ranging from extremely sort of fundamentalist and creationist to extremely kind of radical and almost not Christian at all. Theists are also very individual, so don't go saying that because atheists are individual that they don't that's not a religion. More on that in another video. Okay, so the burden shifting thing. Back to that. It wasn't really covered that much in your video, but it was covered in the comments section. Few things on that. Basically, as a theist, I'm going to say this right now. It's not always our burden to bear. Both parties are making a choice. If you're an atheist, you're choosing to be an atheist. If I'm a theist, I'm choosing to be a theist. I have to have good reasons for that. Good reasons for that choice. And I have to be able to defend my stance on that. Now, when does it become your responsibility to bear the burden? Basically, when you're challenging someone else, I would say. If a Christian comes up to you, or me, because I'm not a Christian, but if they come up to one of us and then start to convert us, it is their responsibility to prove the existence of God and to prove the truth of the Bible. If you or I or someone else is trying to deconvert a Christian, then it is the responsibility of the atheist doing the deconversion to prove that God doesn't exist. It's the responsibility of the challenger. Anyway, I got to wrap this up pretty quick, nearly at 10 minutes. I'm not trying to insult you or pwn you or anything. I respect you and like your videos, but I just had to speak out. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.